Welcome back to the Black Feather Bar. Today, we are here for another episode of In Good Spirits, the series where we talk to anybody in the alcohol service industry and get some knowledge, learn a bit about their passion, and what have you. Today, we have Jack here, the creative director of Blyth and Burrows in Portland, Maine. Say hi to the people.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good time. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the service industry in general and as it relates to the bar that you're involved in running here. Fantastic place, by the way. I mean, like I've come here a few times from where I live, an hour and a half away, just to come by, have the drinks, and say hi to you, of course. Yeah,
Thank
good time.
you very much. Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our work, and we try to take it seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a little bit of a background question I ask to a lot of people first off. So, what kind of sparked your interest in this field, and what kind of got you started as a bartender?
Yeah, so for me, I turned 21 during the pandemic, and so at the time there weren't any bars that I was able to go frequent, so I took it upon myself to just kind of self-educate myself. I actually went to your locale, traveled down to New Hampshire, and spent like a good little bundle just packing my home bar on the day I turned 21.
Yeah.
And then just started kind of honing the craft, watching videos online, like looking for resources like that, and then reading cocktail books and all that. And then Blyth took me on after I finished up college. So that's kind of how I got my start.
Sweet. Do you have any favorite cocktail books in mind, by the way? I got a couple to think of.
Definitely. I mean, I think in terms of like information, Liquid Intelligence is always a staple, of course.
I was going to say that that's number one, probably.
Yeah. But I think that for looking for more avant-garde stuff, the Aviary cocktail book from Chicago is so wonderful. And the pictures that they have for the full blown-out pages are really, really stellar.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think some of my first ones were like Liquid Intelligence, Me and Sky, and I actually am quite a fan of the Drunk Botanist.
Okay, yeah.
Have you heard that one?
I've heard of it, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just a fun one, kind of like how to use herbs.
Yeah.
As it relates to here. Love that a lot. Absolutely. How has your philosophy changed over the years on your creating of cocktails?
So, going into it, little big for my britches, like, oh, everyone wants this crazy avant-garde experience for every drink that's getting put out. But, you learn that from the people you interact with, that some people, they just want you to fix a drink and have it be that. So there's a lot of different avenues for achieving what someone is looking for. There's a lot of different avenues to go through that. So it's important to be more eclectic and still offer those experiences if someone wants this very niche, unique cocktail treatment. You can still offer that, but then offering heavy hitters that are just classic as well is important as well for a bar program.
Yeah, you've got some definite, very interesting cocktails on your menu right now. It's every time I tell people about this place, saying, more interesting stuff than I've seen in a lot of places, but done in such an efficient way. It seems that you can easily serve your volume that you're intending to serve, whilst being able to keep quality. I think that's a bit of a thing that I've quite liked about the cocktail industry as it's evolving, is that we've been kind of moving towards a lot of the background work is being able to improve the cocktail scene in the moment, allow you to easily push out this drink in 15, 30 seconds that is top-notch quality. I think that's all in careful batching in a lot of prep work that I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Do you have any kind of comments on that kind of work?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I absolutely agree. Some people kind of miss what we're looking for exactly, our intentions. When we have these cocktails that are able to be put out in under a minute, they assume, oh man, you pre-batched everything, where was the flair for that? But they miss the intent that the whole goal for being able to achieve this high volume is then to bring it back to the guest experience and being able to have those interactions, being true to what a bar is and what you're coming into experience. And the one component is to get a good drink, but you're also coming for the atmosphere, the ambiance, and being able to experience hanging out with everyone, including the bartender. It's a really important role that they're serving with that as well. It's not just making drinks, like anyone can do that, but being able to provide that personal experience too is paramount. So when we're doing our clarified milk punches and forced carbonated cocktails, it's meant to give back to the guest experience that we're going to be very rapid on our end, so that way we can have more free time to interact with those guests to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. I think I can remember like the first time that I came in here about 3 years ago. I mentioned that I was working on some clarified Mai Tai riff at some point. You were just like, well, I have a clarified Mai Tai. Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
You poured me a little thing of it. It's all about the guest experience. You know, I mentioned it and it was just, here's a little sample, give bars a try. Like, it's a fun little trade-off experience. But, you know, it did, of course, it makes the individual feel special. That's, I think, a big part of the service industry that people are talking about. It's not just in the quality of the cocktail that you're providing. I think especially last episode was a very good highlight on that. PDC, Portland Distilling Company over there, the owners over there were talking quite a bit about, you know, it's not too much about being this super out there, unique kind of cocktail that you're serving to people. I mean, like, sometimes that's fun, it's really interesting, but ultimately at the end of the day, you just want to create a very good guest experience and make sure that the people are having a good time.
Yeah, that is the end goal, undoubtedly.
Yeah. So could you share a little bit of your philosophy that you have when you create a drink, or I suppose how you complement a drink menu as a total?
Yeah, well, so the way that we operate is that we put drinks into 3 different categories, and we refer to them as A, B, and C cocktails. Front to back, like A cocktails, we think of it the mnemonic device of like anchovies. So these are going to be for the nerds, for those cocktail purists that are looking for something very different, avant-garde, and just strange. And then C cocktails are the other side of the spectrum that are going to be those crushers, very accessible within the realms typically of like classic cocktails. And then B is meant to be in between those two, during that line, maybe be a little bit weird, but still have some touchstones as well. And so the ideal menu setup is to have the majority of it falling into that C category, and then still having plenty healthy of those A and E cocktails as well to round it all out, so that you're getting unique cocktails, but also drinks too that you're not going to be scared off by ordering either.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that. Definitely a bit of like my interest has always been probably a bit of those A, maybe B kind of cocktails, but I'm sure there's like a majority of people out there. The majority of people are going to be like, make me something interesting, maybe something that's a classic, maybe slightly riffed on a classic. And you know, if that's the majority of what people want, that's the majority of what should be on the menu. Absolutely. Yeah. And then you'd have some of your more like out there things. I mean, you have one thing on your menu. What is it? Tom Yum.
Oh yeah, Tom Yum Punch, our classic. Yeah.
Yeah. It says in quotation marks under the drink on the menu. What is it? What are these guys doing?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It probably our most unique on menu, and it's meant to be a hallmark for. Yeah, we're not afraid to get weird and silly with it, you know.
Yeah, what is that? It's actually got like tom yum soup that you've clarified.
Yeah,
in the cocktail.
Yeah.
We'll show the menu in some B-rolls here. We'll let you guys know. Super interesting stuff. Way out there, and that interests me by a lot. Like, I'm curious. You know. If you had anything in particular to pick out about Blyth and Burrows' particular mark on Portland's cocktail scene, what do you think you guys bring to the table that a lot of places don't?
I think the biggest thing that sets us apart is that whereas most places are going to be riffing off of classics, we're not afraid to really break the mold and look for completely different avenues to travel down. I really like to be inspired by foods and other things that I just see in my regular life. So like
that Tom Yum soup.
Tom Yum soup, yeah, very apropos, of course, yeah. Like the most recent installment that we put on, we're calling it the Grog List, and they're drinks inspired by classic beer styles.
Yeah.
But no beer is actually in the cocktail for this. It's the thought process. So we're taking all those classic flavors that are found in those beers, and then finding ways to create that cocktail so it will also not only taste like the beer but look like it as well, is
Nice.
within that aesthetic incorporation. So being able to find unique ways to implement those drinks without being confined to just riffing off of classic, I think is really important. The classics are there for a reason and they'll always be accessible, but I think that we're here to really push that line a little bit further and look for things that people are not expecting at all.
Yeah, incredible, and I can see that a lot in how you guys handle the place. Fantastic. But, I keep doing this. I really wish I would read over my stuff a little bit more. Don't you know what to do? Are there any particular signature drinks that you're especially proud of that you've worked on, like maybe ever, but maybe particularly recently?
Yeah, I think the biggest one that I've been really stoked about, we're calling it Cape Size. And the really fun thing about that is that we've implemented this technique we're calling fruit filtration, where we're using banana puree, in this case, to act as the curd component for our clarification. So we're omitting any kind of dairy or other form of milk in the cocktail, and then using that banana puree as itself to break the cocktail. We're straining through that. It provides this really unique profile that really captures that banana essence in a fun, unique way. Rather than it being artificial banana, this one's going to be much more green and under-ripened profile.
Yeah.
Which I'm really proud of and stoked about that we're able to pull it off, because it took a lot of time for us to kind of workshop that.
Yeah, that's a very interesting technique there. Have you done any testing into other fruits, or are you like starting to kind of decide, maybe we'll test out some of those now?
Yeah, I've got a couple on the docket that I'm planning on kind of experimenting with in our slow season.
Yeah.
We haven't really gotten too far into that yet, but we've been very successful with using alternative means for clarification in the past. Caleb and Couch have, for example, done avocado clarification as one means for breaking a punch. Last winter, we were using chocolate to clarify a milk punch as well. Yeah,
that's crazy.
So I think
it's find something with like a good amount of fat content.
Ideally, yeah. We found that you could get away with milk or dark chocolate, which is really cool. So
dark chocolate.
Yeah. So finding new avenues to kind of flex that flavor is really fun, because the clarification in itself, like, you do get some inherent flavors from that depending on what you're utilizing. So being able to not leave anything on the chopping block and using that as an incorporation as well, I think is really fun in changing the landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like you guys are kind of like really on a bit of like a cutting edge of development when it kind of comes to creating unique cocktail styles. I mean, I'm not sure, because I haven't heard of anything like clarifying with avocado or clarifying with chocolate or banana. So it seems like you guys are like sitting right at that edge of trying to like do very new things that not a lot of people have tried.
Yeah, thank you. That is our hope. And I take great pride in following in the footsteps of Caleb and Couch with this program. They really were spearheading going into this program in the first place, and they really were the first people in the scene in New England, as far as I saw, that were doing a dedicated clarified program.
Yeah.
When COVID first hit. Like, nowadays, like, clarifying isn't anything too crazy to think about, because we see all these resources online being able to disseminate this information. But even like 4 years ago, like, clarifying was very niche and avant-garde and not really seen very often. So nowadays, like, the world has kind of caught up to us. So we're trying to find new avenues to keep pushing that needle a little bit.
Yeah. Still try to find something that's a little bit like people aren't doing this. Let's push the memo a little bit.
Yeah.
Get people to think outside of the box because it's people that do that are really going to advance the cocktail scene. Nobody would have thought about clarifying cocktails until somebody tried it out.
Sure.
Yeah, very interesting.
And it's all about building off of that. Like we have the foundation set, so now why don't we just keep pushing to see what else we can develop in the future? So it's a lot of fun. I think that is the key too, is being able to have fun with it as well.
Absolutely. Do you think that the theme of the restaurant that you work in, Blyth Burrows, has influenced how you decide what goes on the menu? Do you think that you're maybe like designing cocktails specifically because they have almost that like nautical sea theme inherent to it?
I love a good theme, so like I'm not afraid to like lean into that, of course. Growing up in Maine as well, like the rugged coast has always been a fun thing to draw inspiration from. But the beauty of having a nautical theme bar as well is that we're able to pull from anywhere because of the trade routes that exist, with the naval side of things. So we're not afraid from pointing to different cultures and drawing inspiration where we see fit because of all of that. So it's nice that it doesn't really pigeonhole us into one specific style. There's lots of different areas that we pull from.
Right, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of interesting question because I think I know a little bit the answer. Has the sustainable movement affected how you guys kind of create your menu? I guess the idea of like, in my mind, I think about like not creating waste and kind of recycling ingredients. I wonder if that's kind of inspired how you make drinks, or like potentially inspiring how you guys are making your food after how you prep the drinks. I knew that one already.
Yeah, you're really teeing me up here. Yeah,
I'm teeing you.
We were talking about it earlier, but we're pretty good with our program that with any of our house macerates, we are producing a pure syrup, just sugar and whatever fruit, vegetable, or what have you. And then we're left over with all this remaining pulp to be processed, and we'll give that directly to the kitchen then for them to then utilize for our cheese board for making compotes, relishes, and everything of the sort. So I think we're pretty good about minimizing the waste component.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I'm hoping to improve in the future is that currently we're not really doing anything with our leftover curds as the byproduct for our clarification program. There's something potentially there down the road to kind of implement, of course, but it's cheese is a little bit finicky at times.
I was gonna say, I was interested. What do you do? Like make cheese out of the leftover curds or something? Like that's crazy. That'd
exactly. So like, there's something there to get at. Like, we just haven't had kind of a free moment to really like sit down and like focus just on that. But that is our hope for the future. But I would say that overall we are pretty good about the sustainability aspect. It's an important thing to maintain and prioritize. So we're going at it as we can.
Yeah. So now that you've kind of been in this kind of situation, this kind of work environment for about 4 years now?
4 years.
Yeah. Would you say that you would have like a good idea of something to say to like a new up and coming bartender? What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out? Like, think like back if you could look at 21-year-old Jack and tell yourself something to get you kick-started. What do you think you would say?
Yeah, the biggest advice I would give is to be a sponge.
Yeah.
Absorb all the information that you can, take it all in. A lot of the time, for one, 21-year-old me thought I knew everything that there was to know about bartending, and realistically, I was only scratching the surface, and it's just how it goes.
Yeah, you make your first a whiskey sour with egg white rather than without, and you're just like, I know everything.
I discovered green chartreuse in my college dorm room. I'm like, I'm the best ever.
I'm the greatest. I know about green chartreuse.
So like, it's keep maintaining that humility and understanding, where the industry has came before you, and just keeping an open mind to continue to learn and understand that no one knows everything. And so just being open-minded for that future and absorbing all the information you can is what it's really all about. And everyone has a different perspective to provide, and just being aware and cognizant is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a fantastic bit of advice. Anybody out there, I would say definitely listen to that kind of idea that he's given. Let's see, do I have anything? Oh yeah, I do have a little bit in here. Has engaging with the local community, particularly around this Portland area, specifically Old Port where you guys are at, right? Has engagement with the locals influenced or changed how you guys operate, I guess?
I mean, not a, like, I guess a little bit, like, only in the sense that, like, so we consider ourselves a pretty upstanding cocktail experience. We don't allow standing room for the front area.
Yeah.
It's seats only. And I will say that we will bend the rules a little bit for those regulars that come in that are familiar faces.
Yeah,
and
you
like,
got your locals.
Yeah,
you
know,
care about the locals.
Right, you got to support them. It's a huge part, especially during our slow season. They're the ones that are continuing to support us throughout, the entire year.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
all
what
that.
in the winter, I mean, you don't have
There's
as
a
many
drop
tourists.
off. Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Like, we're pretty blessed being in the very tourist-driven Old
Right
Port,
in the
where
heart.
like
Yeah,
even like
it's
during
beautiful
the
here.
slow season, like we still see a decent amount of traffic.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an important thing to reward and continue to support your locals. So like I think that there are times where we might turn a blind eye here and there, like, oh, maybe you'll stand a little bit in our service well just because we're completely full right now. Small things like that where you bend the rules because it's a person that deserves it. They've been there and shown up for you, and you know their order by heart and all that. It's important to maintain that, of course.
Yeah. So I guess it's less so that they've like kind of changed how you operate, but it's you have to recognize that you should bend over backwards as to a reasonable bit to like the people that are loyal to you. I mean, show that you care.
Of course.
I should say, rather than bend over backwards. I feel like that was a little bit of like a I don't know, what is that, like a term?
Let's see. So, are there any kind of memorable experiences or collaborations? I would say, I guess, are there any collaborations in particular that you would care to share, I guess, with the bar?
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. So, like, collaborations with, like, liquor brands, or, like, with Blyth as a whole, or, like, how do you mean?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit curious. Sure, liquor brands, but with Blyth in particular as a whole is also a potential offer. Say, for example, episode 2 here, we had Feather Friend Brewery made a coffee stout with a local coffee shop that was like 3 houses over, I'd wonder if any kind of like locals have made their way into collaborating.
I see now. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a couple on menu currently that we've implemented. So, like, for example, our espresso martini, we're sourcing our espresso from our coffee shop right up the street from us. It's over on this corner.
Yeah.
They do a wonderful job, and they're able to produce it in mass for us as well. So being able to keep up with volume is huge for us. It saves us a ton of time. Another one that we're doing is in collaboration with Mark Hibbert, who runs Duff Shank Bitters. So he's also the beverage director for Via Vecchia, but he is on the side doing his own homemade bitters, and he has at least 8 or 9 different types, if not more, all very unique and distinct. We specifically are using his hop bitters that he's making with Cascade hops. That's going in our West Coast IPA. But it's meant to implement, we talked about it earlier, but implement that
hops kind of flavor.
IPA style without any IPA in the drink.
Nice.
So we've done some collabs in the past like that. Before my time, we had an NA cocktail using CBD from Fire on 4, local dispensary. We've been looking to do some future collaborations going into the near future. But then, yeah, like also like we've done collaborations with things like Barnhill, for example. Like we've hosted the Bee's Knees week routinely for essentially every time that they've offered it. You know,
That's fantastic.
Huge fan. I know that you visited the distillery recently and all that.
Yeah, I did. I love them.
They're wonderful.
Joe, you know what to do. This doesn't need to be on record, but I'm trying to get Ryan in one of these.
Cool. Yeah, Ryan's awesome.
We'll see.
I bet you he would.
Well, they said that he would probably be pretty likely to want to do it, but they want to make sure that like he has time to do it, so it needs to be somewhat relevant.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so-
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
That's cool. Yeah.
Cut that part out. We don't really. That's
Cut
not
back in.
irrelevant. Yeah. But then of course you guys have your you just showed me this single barrel that you guys have for Blyth and Burrows as well. You have probably a few single barrels that you guys have don over the years.
Right. Yeah. This is the second one we've done.
Wow.
The previous one was with Ezra Brooks Distillery from Kentucky. So much more traditional bourbon, and that's that pursuit. This one we wanted to, get a little bit different with it. I think American single malt right now is the most exciting category within the whiskey world. It's really exploding. It only officially became a thing this year, so like seeing that on paper is huge. And I don't think it gets enough love because Americans are like, with Scotch, like what are you doing? But American single malt
is beautiful.
Yeah, the Scotch is beautiful. It's very delicate and pronounced, and there's a lot of meticulous effort that goes into it.
Yeah.
American single malt is in that same pursuit, but they're still adhering to American values a lot of times. So you don't see a lot of cask strength whiskey, for example, and it's much more prevalent in the American world than overseas. So whereas you can't really find cask strength Scotch as much, it's more readily available in this American market, which I will always entertain. I think you get more flavor, and obviously you pay the premium for it, but then you can do whatever you want with it. If you need to proof it down, you get more bang for your buck in that.
Exactly. I mean, I've been seeing, I think, quite a bit of cask strength being some of my favorite whiskeys that I've had. I mean, I think one of my favorite sippers, period, is an Irish cask strength. Actually, it's the Redbreast.
The
cask strength.
Yes.
12 year. Right? Yeah.
Oh man, that's my favorite from their line in general.
Yeah. Period. Yeah. If I was sipping a whiskey alone, I'd say that's probably my favorite usually.
Yeah, there's not so much robust flavor that goes on with that, and it really adheres to the American ideal of being this very strong, prominent, robust flavor profile.
Yeah, and I mean, like we all know that like Irish Scotch people were like big inspiration on our whiskey world in this country. So incredible to see it.
Yeah. There's been a huge progression within that, which is really fun. We'll have to see the echoes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're coming towards the end. I just had a couple of really quick questions, I guess, on this. Do you have anything to say for potentially guests who may be seeing this episode? Mind you, it might be like a month or more than a month from now before this airs.
Sure.
But I'll repeat the question because I did remind you of that. Do you think that there's anything in particular that guests can expect from Blyth and Burrows going forward?
I think we're committed to remaining weird. I think that it's a really important hallmark to our program is that we're not afraid to shy away from those unique and strange flavors. And that's why people come out to see us, because we're going to offer those really unique experiences. Not to say that we're going to also be able to offer those bangers that are very approachable and delicious. But I'm in the camp that I'm always searching for something more. So I love to be able to deliver on that field as well. So expect some more crazy, strange, and very odd things, because I think that's where we really excel.
Nice. All right. And so I guess with that, we're getting towards the final moments here. I guess where can people follow up the bar and yourself?
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram. Blyth's handle, I think, is just Blyth, AND Burrows. And then I'm on Instagram at Jack O'Brien 717.
Fantastic. And we're definitely going to go ahead and put those Links down in the description below. And with that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure to check out the Black Feather Bar on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. And again, I guess hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let's say goodbye to the people. Let's cheer it out.
Cheers. Thank you so much, guys.
Of course.